Hi y'all, it's Annelies, and this Monday, October 18th, 2021, Apple had an event that for the first time in I think a decade, I did not know was happening. The way that I found out is that my friend Josue texted me, "So, first Apple event in London. You must be feeling weird, right? Wow." And I was like, "What do you mean? Did they announce an Apple event happening?" And he said, "No, it's starting right now." And I had no clue. I think it's maybe because I haven't gone on Twitter in a really long time. There were murmurings, but I didn't know anything was confirmed until it was happening. So I had to wait a little bit for the recap to be uploaded onto Apple's website, and then I finally got to watch it. And one, I love the Apple events. Of course I do. It's me we're talking about here. So it was lovely to like have that little piece of home normalcy here while I'm in London. And yes, this is my first, well, I've technically filmed a video, I'm still editing, but this is my first like set up video that I'm doing in my room in London. So forgive that it's not perfect because I'm still trying to work it out, and I have a short break at school right now and I'm squeezing in a video and I've been setting up all these lights, and I said, you know what, forget it, we'll do it live. We gotta talk about the Apple event because it's been a week and I've just been dying to share my excitement with somebody. So I know all the Apple event recaps have already come out, and I bet some of your favorite YouTubers have already been talking about this, and you've probably watched the event yourself. But in case of maybe you didn't watch the event, or you just wanna hear from me and what I'm excited about and be excited with me, go ahead and keep on watching. So the thing that we have all been waiting for is an Apple event talking about computers, more specifically the MacBook Pros, like the 16-inch, the real pro user. I know they came out with the MacBook Pros with the M1, but like we're talking about pro user, all the specced out specs, that type of user, MacBook Pro. We've been waiting for it, and that event finally happened. So in this event, in case you're not familiar, the new MacBook Pros were announced with the new M1 Max and M1 Pro chips. We've got 14 and 16 inches on those size models, which we'll get into that thing in a second. And then we also got a few little updates, like some new AirPods, a 3rd generation AirPods, as well as some new HomePod Mini colors, which, listen, I would not have brought my HomePod had I known that they were coming out with a freaking orange HomePod Mini. But before I just get too excited into everything, let's like break this into chapters. Let's go ahead and get started with the HomePod Mini. So with HomePod Mini, there's no updates except color options. So now we've got blue, yellow, and orange being added to the already existing white, and I believe they call it black, not space gray. They do call it space gray. That freaking space gray will stay with Apple forever. But now the HomePod Mini comes in 5 colors, still the same price of $99 USD, or since I'm in London now, it comes for £89. Don't worry, I'm in a class to fix that horrible British accent. So 2 years time, I'm gonna be sounding like a proper Brit, but for now, this is what I'm working with. But yeah, so otherwise nothing really exciting happened with that except the color options, which color is always really fun, especially for something that like sits in your home. I love my HomePod Mini, and it's cool to see updated colors. I like the colors. And I wish I had the orange. I'm so mad. Now I believe the event started with them talking about HomePod Mini. It was a super short section because they just added colors. Yay. I mean, yay, but like, yay. But then we moved on to another sound related item, which was the AirPods. More specifically, the 3rd generation AirPods. Now when I could tell that they were like about to start talking about AirPods, I literally sat in my chair at my computer right here, and I said, go ahead, ruin them for me. And be careful what you ask for, because that's exactly what they did. I understand that a lot of people like the AirPods Pro, but I mean, I love the AirPods Pro. They just hurt my ears so badly, not because of the silicone tip, but because of the shape of the plastic. The thing that can't be changed, no matter what you do. So I had heard rumors about them updating the AirPods to, instead of look like the classic AirPods shape like this, they're going to look like the AirPods Pro shape like this. And it's like more ovicular, less like round. It's like a little bit more bulbous. I don't know. It's larger, and I don't know what that shape design, it doesn't compute with my ears, but like I have some weird thing in my ear. When it pushes on the AirPod, it just hurts my ear and like makes it sore for like days and days, and it just like, it's a stupid only me problem that I've actually heard a few other people say that they have. So maybe I'm not as alone as I think I am, but they've updated the AirPods to look more like the AirPods Pro, which like, I'm bummed now because when eventually my AirPods die, knock on wood, that is not anytime soon, but when that happens, I won't be able to replace them with anything unless if they go back to this design. Let's hope my AirPods just last me a super long time. I'll be fine. It's just like I saw the shape and I was like, no, why? So aside from the shape update with the AirPods 3rd generation, we got some things like adaptive EQ, so it's like tuning to your ears to make sure that you're getting the best sound possible. We've got longer battery life, which is always appreciated. And then another thing that I do like about the AirPod shape is how they have all of like, I think they refer to them as like wind screens, but it's like the vents, the little black section to help with the AirPods Pro for like airflow, so that way you don't feel like your like ears are plugged up when you're wearing AirPods Pro and using the noise cancellation. They have that on the 3rd generation AirPods, but that's supposed to help with reducing wind noise, which is something that I like because I have to say there are times when I'm wearing my AirPods, especially here in London where it's been very windy this week. So I'm interested to see in practice how that windscreen really affects like the noise of just the world and AirPods. There is an also awesome update with the charging case, which the charging case is now MagSafe compatible. So it's not like you have to buy the more expensive case or whatever. You're just getting the MagSafe compatible case, which is for easy charging, as well as the battery life on the case went up. It's now 30 hours compared to 24 with the 2nd gens. So like, once again, more battery life, nobody's ever gonna complain about that. Along with the design change of like the in-ear part of the AirPods, you also get that stem with the little button on it, which I have to say I really liked when I had my AirPods Pro for the short amount of time that I did, because it was easy to kind of like really know what you're clicking on. And I feel like there's times where I'm tapping on my AirPods and I like don't know if I'm actually doing anything. And I also don't know what the controls do off the top of my head. So I'm always just like tapping and just seeing what's gonna happen. But I like that they've added like the little stem clicky thing, because it's a very nice clicky feeling. And the other thing that I thought was really cool is that they have skin sensing technology. Essentially the idea is that if you take your AirPods out of your ears and maybe like put them in your hand or something, or you put them on your desk, supposedly it can tell if it's in your ear versus not in your ear. And then obviously in the case, because sometimes like you take out an AirPod and you're like, yeah, huh, what? Oh, let me pop these out. But then like they're out and then maybe your music starts playing again. I don't know, maybe it was a complaint that they got, I don't know. Like when they mentioned it, I was like, that's actually kind of a good idea. Like, okay, I'm sold, I'm listening. When a new product launches, typically I'm always like, all right, we'll have to see what it's like. But like with this one, there's a lot of things of like, no, we'll have to see what it's like and like if it actually works or not. Like this is the product I'm the most suspicious about how things are gonna work with it. So yeah, I thought this video was gonna be a short little video, and then I guess I went on a rant about AirPods, so that's fun. I hope y'all enjoy long videos, and as a mid-video reminder, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please consider doing so. I make videos like this talking about tech things, new products, reviewing things, whatever, as well as doing some like lifestyle, like general Annelies nonsense type of content, talking about my life in London. I just started grad school, so like real running the gamut of all the topics of YouTube things. So if you're interested, please subscribe, as well as give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it so far. I feel like that was like a mid-video sponsorship, which I've never been so blessed to have a sponsorship, but yeah, mid-video sponsored by me. Please like the video, subscribe, patreon.com/Annelies if you want to even help the channel even more. I digress, let's talk about Mac. Okay, this is a 2018 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina display with Touch Bar. I love her. She's great, she's wonderful, so blessed that I have her. But I've been realizing that I made a mistake with not going with 64 gigabytes of RAM when I got that computer. And there have been things in the recent past that have made that more glaringly obvious. So do I need a new computer? No. Do I desperately want a new computer? Yes, I do. Of course I do. And do I have the money for a new computer? No, I don't. This is all wishful thinking I'm thinking of, but I like to know that when I'm potentially ready to upgrade my device, that there are awesome options out there for me. But now, at this event, the big star of the show was the MacBook Pro 14 and 16 inch and the M1 I keep wanting to say X because that's what everybody thought it was gonna be called, but it's actually the M1 Max and the M1 Pro chips. The difference between the two, I don't know. Because which one's better, Pro or Max? I would say Max. Let's see if I'm right. Please hold. I'm sorry, what? The M1 Pro is scary fast, according to this thing on my iPad. The M1 Pro has up to 10 cores of a CPU, up to a 16-core GPU, and up to 32 gigabytes of unified memory, while the scary faster M1 Max has a 10-core CPU, up to 32 cores GPU, and up to 64 gigabytes of unified memory. Wow, that is fast. Holy cow! 32 core GPU? I'm sorry? Anywhoozle. It is 2 times faster than the M1 Pro. So the M1 Max is where it's at. You have these 2 chips that are really designed for the pro user. And it's just like, knowing how fast the M1 computers are. And I remember I made a video about this actually, how I was in this movie, and I made a movie, and it was like a theatrical show that we turned into a movie. And it was a big thing. Watch the video. It was really cool. Sadly, it's nowhere online anymore, but yeah. So we made this thing, and I edited a ton of it on my computer because that thing was designed for video editing. And then the other person who was editing a lot had a M1 Mac Mini. And I remember there was one night that we were like at her house looking at edits, and every edit that she did, I was like staring in the top right hand corner or the top left hand corner where the little like thinky box is when you're doing things and it's like processing or rendering or whatever. Never once did it think. It just did everything, like in a flash. And granted, it wasn't like crazy heavy editing things in that moment, but on my computer, it would have given me like a, like it would have like done it fast, but I would have seen the processing. The M1 Mac Mini didn't have it. So the fact that that thing has better benchmarks than my MacBook Pro, spec'd out to all hell, only imagine what these M1 Max and Pro chips are gonna do. Like, I feel like it's going to be overwhelming with how many capabilities these devices have. The chips, they're fun, they're fine. We really can't say a lot about it until we get our hands on it. And when I say we, I mean like the royal we, because once again, your girl's not gonna be seeing it anytime soon. Ooh, I will go to an Apple store and try it out. I absolutely will do that. But the thing that I am so excited about, and everybody and their mother is excited about, if you're a pro user and you use MacBook Pros, is the ports have finally returned. I was watching the event, and when they did that little like highlight reel of like, and we want to introduce it to you now, and then Tim Cook fades away, and then all of a sudden the little film comes up, and it's like a minute of them just being like, and then it's like cool music, and then it's like the computer fooling around, and you get to see all the things of it, and like they like panned super fast the side of the computer, and I saw the MagSafe connector, and I literally screamed. I'm not joking. I was like, ah! I love MagSafe for the computers. I haven't used it on any of my devices. It's probably great and everybody loves it. But having this cable being able to be strong enough that can move my computer, I don't like that. I have almost thrown my computer on the floor because I've tripped over the cable, and I know so many people who have done the same thing. The point of MagSafe is it was there to save your life. And to think that they took it away from us, I think the thing that everybody's been saying is we've been complaining for like 4 years, 5 years, and then Apple was like, all right, we hear ya. We'll bring in all the things back and we'll make it better. I never thought this day would come. But here we are. Okay, so let's actually talk about it. So the MacBook Pro 14-inch and 16 inches, they have a whole new design. So one, these Macs look very reminiscent to, I believe it's like the 2010 MacBook Pros that like closed and had like the little button on the front of them. The second I saw these, I was like, it's giving me very much that. But on the ports end of things, we've got MagSafe, HDMI, and SD card slot. There are still USB-C ports on there. So we've got HDMI, SD card, 3 USB-C ports, MagSafe, and a headphone jack, which honestly, the team at Apple, I don't know if they've just like, they were like, okay, listen, they're at a boardroom, Tim Cook's at the helm of the table, Craig Federighi on the other side, and Craig is just pacing, because I feel like that's what he does in his life. He just like long strides around the room. So they're all like, okay, listen, so if we really want a computer to sell, we need to take things away from them, have them beg us for half a decade, and then one day bring it back. And then people are gonna be so deprived of these things and so excited that we brought them back that these computers are gonna fly off the shelves. If that's the plan, it worked. It absolutely worked, and understandably so, because it's an insane powerhouse of a device that just fits so many needs of any pro user, of any creative. Like, I just want it. I want it so bad. I'm just like literally so excited to see these things in store. Oh, right. Yeah. So we got a huge update here. With that beautiful liquid XDR Retina XDR display comes a more edge-to-edge bezel-less display, but now our friend, the notch, has joined the MacBook family because the freaking FaceTime camera, you need to have it and it's gonna have a little black hole on your screen. And so now we've got a notch, but supposedly with macOS Monterey, which finally have a date for when that freaking software is coming out. And then the 26th is when the computers will be available. So obviously I knew when they were gonna announce the computers, macOS Monterey was going to be coming with it, but we've got the notch. I don't think it's that bad, and like I interrupted myself saying, with macOS Monterey, the menu bar is all the way up, so it's not like there's a bezel, like it's like on your phone. Like if you're on a phone that has the notch, you can see like the time and the battery and the Wi-Fi and whatever, like it continues the screen along that. It's not like it's just a bar, and they're doing the same thing with the Mac, which is like an expected move, and I'm glad that they didn't get rid of the bezels or go as bezel-less as they could and then not use the real estate, so that's cool. And I don't know if the previous generations had a 1080p FaceTime camera, but this one does, so that's nice. So I'm gonna say something controversial that you might not expect, and that sounds stupid, and it is stupid in retrospect, but I'm still sad about it. So I'm like so happy about this computer. Great, it's a wonderful computer. So excited to get my hands on it. Maybe one day, like 10 years down the line. But the thing that I'm sad about with the updates, and that I wish they wouldn't have done, the touch bar's gone. I feel so dumb saying that because everybody was like, the touch bar sucks, we hate the touch bar. But I use the touch bar all the time. Now, do I use it for, I think, the grand ideas that Apple thought the touch bar was going to be? No, because if I'm using an app like Final Cut Pro, yeah, you can access the tools and all that nonsense from your touch bar, but if you're a pro user, you probably know the keyboard command, and that will go so much faster because that's where your hands already are. And it's not a huge far reach forward, but I'm always going to click B to switch to my blade tool instead of going up to the tool selector on the touch bar and switching it that way, because it's just faster and more natural. What I use the touch bar for all the time is autofill. I love the touch bar for autofill, whether it be like you come to a form and then it auto-populates your name, or you have to put in your address, or choosing your cards from your iCloud keychain, or most importantly, emojis, easy access to emojis. That's what I use the touch bar for. So as somebody who I feel like I do something autofill related, like every day, I don't know what it is, but I'm always using the touch bar for autofill things. So I'm bummed that has been retired on these Pros. But luckily, we did still get to keep the Touch ID, which Touch ID on a Mac, revolutionary, we love it. Insert Lady Gaga meme here. And then it's got like all of the function keys have returned. So I do have to say I like that, because sometimes it can be annoying, like switching from the brightness to the sound and like not having it accessible at all times. I notice that the touch bar gets really freaking hot sometimes. And sometimes I'll go to like change my brightness and be like, what? Okay, that was warmer than I expected. So although I'll miss autofill, I think every other benefit of this computer is worth that sacrifice, so I'll take it. Let me know your thoughts about the touch bar if you've experienced the touch bar, because I love it. Some people are like, I never use it. Some people just use it for emojis. So I would love to hear your thoughts on the touch bar, and if you're sad about its passing. I mean, it still exists on like the M1, right? Hold on, I'm checking. It does, okay. The 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro still has the touch bar. And then like one little thing I love shouting out, just because I like acknowledging it and talking about it and keeping the conversation going, is that the enclosure of these MacBook Pros is made with 100% recycled aluminum, which of course is amazing for the planet. It goes towards Apple's goal to be completely carbon neutral by 2030. So like, that's amazing, fantastic, we love it. Ugh, look at her. Look at her, so cute. Am I mad that they don't come in all the colors like the M1 Max, iMacs? Yes, I am. Do I understand that that will never happen and I'll never get an orange MacBook? It's something I've come to terms with at this point, but oh my God, up to 21 hours of battery life. Holy cow. It's just so pretty. And all the ports. I'm so excited. That is all the announcements and excitement from the MacBook Pro event. I hope you're as excited as I am or had a good time either watching the event, which beautiful, classy as ever. First Apple event from London. Well, it's not from London, I'm in London. First video filmed with all my lights in London. This is gonna get updated. I think I wanna put something like right here on this like white wall. So if you have any suggestions of ways I can zhuzh up this little Studio 2.0 space. But before I go, I just want to take a brief moment to thank my Patreon supporters. Thank you so much to all of my Patreon supporters. The people you're seeing on screen right now are in the Mabel and the Ethel tier of my Patreon, which are the top tier patrons, but I have a tons of different patrons. There's tons of different levels from $1 all the way up to 10, where I just kind of like share behind the scenes stuff about me, about the process of making my videos. I ask for your thoughts and opinions, and I want my Patreon community to be a place where y'all can put an impact to help me grow and mold my channel into what it is, not only today, but what it will be in the future. So if you are interested in supporting me monetarily, please check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Annelies. There's tons of different little exclusive perks. I'm working on adding more, so that's the other thing too. By being a part of the Patreon, you're helping form not only my channel, but the Patreon community that we have. It is small, but it is mighty, and I'd love to have you a part of it. So link in the description for that. And so thank you so much to all my top tier patrons, and of course, all of my patrons of past, present, and future. And of course, if you can't support me on Patreon, please do not worry about that. That is such a wonderful gesture. But by watching my videos, subscribing to my channel, liking my videos when you see them, and then leaving a comment about just some of your thoughts on the video, or some of the things I talked about, or anything you have to say, that all also really supports me as a small creator. So thank you to everybody who's watching right now, and thanks for hanging out with me. That's gonna be it for me today. It's so nice to say that again. Stay beautiful, have a marvelous day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Oh, I haven't said that in so long. That makes me so happy. Okay. Bye.